So here we will see how we can get the access to all the AWS member accounts. We have created or we have used AWS organizations to manage multiple accounts. Now the next part is how we can get the access to those AWS accounts. So for that, we will be using IAM Identity Center, which was called AWS Single Sign-On previously. So this is used to manage access to multiple AWS accounts and cloud applications. This is a managed service. It is highly available and it is regional service. Here you can see that it is not a global service and it is regional service. So the recommendation is you can choose the region where almost all your users are present instead of choosing any random one because of the latency things. But in general, people use this US East one, so you can just choose that. And then you can just click on enable. So just click on enable. So once you click on enable, you will see all this dashboard and here you can see AWS Access Portal URL. So you can basically click on this URL and you will see that currently you will just get this sign in page and we currently do not have any login and any username and password. So there is no way you can access anything currently. The second part is you can change the name of the URL also. So here you can put your subdomain, basically the DNS according to your company's URL, so that you don't need to be specific to this AWS identity URL and you can easily use the DNS name. So that configurations you can do it here. So now you got this URL. What is the next step? So that next step, you create some groups. So in general, people create some admin groups. So here you can see that I have just created this admin group. People create the developer group. So you can create the developer groups. The group's creation is according to your project requirements or your company's requirements. Based on that, you can have the separate groups based on your team, based on the application. So you can have different groups like that. So here you can just see create groups. Okay, so now we will create a user. So here is an option of add users. You will put the name of the user, which would be the username for that user, and provide the email address. I'm using my email address, your first name and your last name. You can have all the details if you want. Other than that, you can click on next and then you can assign that user to the group. So I'm assigning this to admin. Click on next and add users. So once you create this user, you will see that the user will have received an email with all the instructions. So I'm going to my email and here you can see that I got this email and this invitation will expire in 7 days. So I will just accept the invitation and you can set the password now for your user. Okay. So once you do that, you see that I got this screen and here you can see that your administrator will give you the access and AWS accounts and whatever access you will have, you can see it here. So now let's go to the next part. So we have created groups, we have created users. Now the part is how we will give access to these users. So there is a concept of permission sets in this IAM Identity Center. So we'll click on this permission sets. These permission sets, like, it's simple policies and there are some predefined and there are some custom permission sets. So like you can have like AWS managed policy, admin access, billing, database. So whatever you want, there are some predefined policies that AWS provides that you can directly use. The second is custom permission sets. So if you click on next, you can have your own attached policies. You can create your own policies and then use those. In this example, will be using the predefined and I'm just giving admin access to that user. So if I click on next, and here you can see the session durations, you can have it. It is good for the security reasons, like you set this 4 hours or 8 hours or based on your requirements. So I'm setting it for 8 hours and click on next and create. So here you can see that I have created one permission set, which is which is administrator access. And here right now you can see that I do not have any account associated with this. So now how you will assign accounts to this permission set. So if you click on this AWS account, just an example. So this is one of my account and I want to assign some users and groups to that. So here you will select this group option and then you will select the permission set. So you will get all the permission sets that you have created for that. I'm selecting the admin access, click on next and submit. So you can see that here you are saying it is configuring your account. And now if I go there, here you can see that administrative access permission is assigned to this user. So now whoever group has assigned these permissions can access it. So now let me just refresh this page. So here you can see that I can see one of the account where I have the admin access and I can just click on this and I should be able to log into this new AWS account. Here you can see. So this is how the permission works in this AWS account and how you can use this IAM Identity Center to manage it. Okay, we have seen how we can get the access to the AWS account. So this is all the users that we are maintaining internally. So this is good for your small projects and small companies where you just have 5 to 6 users and you can just manage it like this. Most of the companies are using like Microsoft AD or any LDAP or any external authenticator so that you can also use it. So here if I go there, in the settings, if you go there, identity source, you have an option to change the identity source. So right now I'm using this AWS managed identity center directory, but you can have the active directory, you can have the external identity providers that will have its own configurations. But to make it simple and to be useful for the small organizations and for the small companies where there is no active directories, you can just manage it directly here like this.